ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोर्श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोर्नवैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सागररघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामये। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतो पंगो मौ मंदमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पदाम्भोजौ राधा मदर मोहनौ दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भे वंशी वटतटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथश्रियस्तु नः। तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So welcome to 27th day of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of 100 stories. Srimad Bhagavata Katha Shatakam, we entered into 27th day. So in next 3 days time, that is 28th, 20th, 30th, after that the 4th day will be entering into Purnahuti. So eventually we are doing the 31 days. Day being the 31st day being the Nrsimha Chaturdashi, we wanted to put the Purnahuti at that time. That's why we added 1 day extra. So total our hearing will continue for 31 days. So we will be continuing our auspicious hearing of Srimad Bhagavata Katha Shatakam. This is being organized by Bhaktivedanta College of Vedic Education, Navi Mumbai, Maharashtra, India. So we are committed to spreading the Krishna consciousness through Vedic knowledge, and especially Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, described Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam as the India's message of peace and goodwill. So we have chosen this particular Bhagavatam to invoke auspiciousness in the entire world at this point of time, where everyone is under stress because of the world crisis. So we have, and 26 days are successfully completed, hearing every day 2.5 hours Krishna Katha. Now we entered into the 27th day. So before proceeding for 27th day hearing, let us chant our regular prayers to make our endeavors successful. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके। So with this standard prayers of Lord Naranarayana Rishi and Srila Vyasadeva and Goddess Saraswati, who are worshipped or who are paid obeisances to achieve success in Srimad Bhagavatam endeavors, we are proceeding for 27th day hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, we constantly see a great message is given, and also we see the various stories which constantly describe, narrate to us that one should be attached to the hearing of pastimes of Lord Krishna and his various incarnations. So, and it has been recommended that this hearing should be done in the morning and evening. Janmaguhyam Bhagavato Jayeta Prayato Naraha. Janmaguhyam Bhagavato Jayeta Prayato Naraha. Sayam Pratar Grunan Bhaktya Dukkhagrama. So the stories of the Supreme Lord are always very, very secret. Janmaguhyam. Guhya means very secret. And the person who is with all attachment, Grunan means if he these pastimes, morning and evening, then they will be freed from unlimited miseries in their life. So this message constantly comes through the mouths of various devotees, and even Supreme Lord also says many times, and even Shukadeva Goswami repeatedly says, and Sutta Goswami also repeatedly says. Finally, that is a message that Bhagavatam is meant for really making persons to cross over the Nissan. As we discussed many times, the Bhagavad Gita, which is spoken by Krishna, is essentially to achieve success in this world, so that we will not be disturbed by the, we will not fall down to the mental platform and stay at the soul platform and achieve all success in whatever endeavors that we take. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhuti Dhruvani Tirmati Mama. So wherever the Yogeshwara Krishna is there, wherever the Supreme Acharya Arjuna is there, there will be certainly opulence, victory, unlimited power and morality. So this is Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita's effect. Then when you come to Bhagavatam, it is essentially to invoke auspiciousness, to remove the miseries and to remove the fear and to cross over the nescience, and finally lead to a Trigunatita sthiti. They freed from the three modes of material nature, and when in that stage only we will actually develop the love of Godhead Krishna. That is Krishna's love, the Panchama Purusha. So one of such incidences Shukadeva Goswami I wanted to bring to everybody's notice. Samsara sindhu mati dustara mutti tirshor nanya plavo bhagavata purushottamasya leela katha rasanive nishevana mantarena pumso bhavet vividha dukkha davarthitasya. So this is actually Shukadeva Goswami is telling almost final instruction to Parikshit Maharaj. He is giving the almost final instruction, and he said that Leela Kadha Rasa Nishevana Antarena. Antarena means accept that. Like we say Hare Nama Iva Kevalam Kalau Nasteva. Naste means accept that means nothing. So similarly Antarena means accept that. Leela Katha Rasanishevana Antarena means relishing the nectar of Leela Katha. Except that there is no other way. Pumso bhavet vividha dukkha davarthitasya. For a person to cross over the fire of miseries or fire of miseries of ocean. For him there is no. And this Leela Katha's hearing continuously is compared to a ship. Danya plavo bhagavata purushottamasya. So this is compared to an ocean. A ocean may be very, very big and very, very deep. Very, very deep. Suppose if you want to cross our ocean and reach to an island or another land outside. So what is the general way of crossing any water body? Water body, if it is small, or if anybody wants a bridge. But if it is on the ocean, to construct a bridge to cross over to another big island, of course Lord Ramachandra did, because he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He did, and he constructed a bridge, the Setu Bandhana. But under ordinary conditions, if somebody wants to cross over, it is impossible to construct a bridge on the ocean. So what is the process? Easiest is to take a Nava, to take a ship, or to take a ship and get a perfect captain for the ship and get onto that. And you need not learn any swimming, you need not learn how to navigate the ship, nothing is required. So you have to just take the shelter of a ship which is having a perfect trained navigator and that captain, and you can pass. That's why it's saying Nanya plavo bhagavata purushottama. So that ship is nothing but the stories of Purushottama, Samsara Sindhu Mati. So here Bhagavatam, the purpose of repeatedly saying that repeatedly in Bhagavatam, one point is being stressed, that one should be really attached to hearing the stories of Krishna and incarnations and the devotees' pastime. This is very essential, this is most important, and it is indispensable. We can use the word indispensable. If somebody wants to live, I want to live, then what are the indispensable things? First indispensable thing is breathing. So you have to breathe if you want to live. If you say that, no, somebody may say that, no, even one has to take food to, but that may not be indispensable. For 1 day, 2 days, 3 days you can still. But breathing is 1 minute is enough. 1 minute is enough. If you don't breathe, you will be dead. So it's got indispensable. It is not optional. Similarly, if somebody wants to really, somebody wants to cross over the ocean of miseries, if somebody wants to cross over the ocean of fear, if somebody wants to cross over the ocean of illusion, then for them the indispensable process is hearing Krishna's voice. This is the secret we have to really understand. And generally our devotee community, they give a lot of importance for Harinam, chanting Harinam, as I mentioned in one of the stories. That is this. Even at the Bhagavatam, at the end of Bhagavatam, also it is mentioned that it is ultimately only the chant. By that one will be free from all the sins. It is clearly mentioned. At the same time, if you want to really, because by chanting of Harinama, you will be purified. In the purification, you will get association of devotees. In the association of devotee, you will end up in hearing the pure story of Krishna. So the Bhagavatam gives unlimited stress on the hearing this part, and I am hopeful that all the hearers, the present hearers and the future hearers of this particular talk, they will get attached, they will develop a taste, they will develop a Shraddha, faith in hearing the Krishna Katha, which is very, very important for developing attachment towards Krishna. So with this brief introduction about the process of hearing in which we are engaged today, for last 26 days we are engaged, so we'll be entering into 27th day hearing. So today we will be hearing 3 stories in the today's Bhagavatam, because the one story is very big and I want to really make it big. So that is so the first story is a story of Akshaya opulence, and a story that happened on Akshaya Tritiya day. That is, this is the friendship of Sudama and Krishna. So today's first story is the friendship of Sudama and Krishna. So everybody, generally people show a lot of love for this story. In this we see that Krishna has awarded unlimited opulence to his friend Sudama. That's why people show a lot of interest. Even the people who are devotees, or those who are materialistic people, or those who are astic, those who are theistic people, they all show interest. And if you look at the Acharya statement, in this we see the 14 words, as we have been hearing in various stories. The entire world, entire creation is in one Brahmanda. You will find 14 planetary systems. And the Acharya said that Nama Vina Kichu Nahikara Chauda Bhuvana Maje. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if you carefully analyze in this 14 planetary system, nothing is permanent except Harinam. Nama Vina Kichu Nahikara Chauda. The thing which is having some substance, which is having some reality, which is having some permanency, is only Harinam. So the entire world is created with 24 elements. However, the only 2 things, and all the 24 elements are on one side, and there are only 2 things which are away from this 24, which are not affected by that. That is soul and super soul. And because of this 24 elements, from the nature, the different bodies are formed, the different lives come, and they are all influenced by 3 modes of material nature. That is Sattva Guna, Raja Guna. But only 2 things are not affected by all this. That is soul and super. Similarly, but the thing is that if the soul to be released from the clutches of these 24 elements are the Trigunas, we need to have a thing which is also beyond the material nature. That is Harinam. That's why all Acharyas say that Harinama is the final one. What is the effect of Harinama? The effect of Harinama is that it purifies. Cheto Darpanam, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the first effect of Harinama is it purifies the heart. So, what is the purification of heart? So, heart is always covered with the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, 6 types of enemies, and it always thinking of negative about others and forgetting Krishna. So there, as we discussed yesterday in one of the stories, Smriti and Avismriti, there are 2 things. So we always we should be aspiring for Avismriti, means no forgetfulness. We don't want to forget Krishna. That is called Avismriti Krishna Padaravindayo. And when the heart is purified, the immediate effect is they will get pure devotee. If somebody is getting a pure devotee association, means his heart has become pure for whatever reason, maybe because of Harinama, because of whatever, but his heart has become pure, and in that association there will be a complete flow of devotional service and the glories of Krishna. So that's why Shukadeva Goswami, the Parikshit Maharaj was asking, we are actually trying to tell. He was talking with whatever faith he developed, Parikshit Maharaj, whatever faith he developed, he is trying to speak. Because the speaker first would start the topic depending on what type of question the hearer or the inquiring person asks. I would like to know about this. I want to know what is this. So that triggers whole discussion. And there will be some discussion happening afterwards. There will be some dialogue goes on. And during that, so much realization, the hearer, the inquirer will develop. And whenever he is speaking in between, that whatever he has realized, whatever he felt, that gives an good feeling to the speaker. Oh, whatever I am speaking is going to the heart of the hearing person. It is not going waste. Oh, whatever I spoke, this person understood. So when he gets that feeling, he speaks more detail. That's why Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. This is the process Krishna has told to even Arjuna. So first he will be very humble. Tadvidhi pranipatena means completely surrendering. Pariprashna means asking questions for sake of really knowing the answer, not asking questions to test the speaker. That's called pariprashna. Then it should be associated with serving. If a person is not serving the speaker, then he will not be entitled. He will not be entitled to receive the knowledge. Okay, you may hear the knowledge, but you will never receive knowledge. That's why it's always mentioned that whenever we hear from the Acharya, that's why we give Guru Dakshina. The Guru Dakshina could be in form of service, Guru Dakshina in form of money, Guru Dakshina in form of some favors, whatever, preaching. So when the service is done, then the knowledge, whatever flows from the realized soul heart, goes into the heart and gets fixed up. So the service is very important. But if somebody is not serving for whatever reason, then take for granted whatever they hear, they will just get lost. They will never go inside heart. They will not give any permanent effect. So here when the Parikshit Maharaj was speaking about his realization, Shukadeva Goswami felt very happy. He said that Sagvagyaya tasya gunan krunito karocha tatkarma karo manascha mared vasantam Sirajangameshu Shrunoti Tat Punya Kadha Sakarna. He was mentioning whatever he has realized, because he has been hearing what Shukadeva Goswami. He said that which can be called as the vak, which can be called as word. The words are the speaking that glorifies the qualities of Supreme Lord Krishna is only called vak. Savak yaya tasya guna grunita. So if I have speaking power, I can express my thoughts, I can express my feelings, I can express my desires, I can express my realizations, and I am using my power of speaking power for glorification of Supreme Lord Krishna. Then this speaking power is called actually speaking. Otherwise, no. Somebody may be expertly able to express a beautiful woman so nicely that as if she is standing in front of. Though it may be, they are like so many, they are kavi, there are so many poets, they nicely describe the whole thing, a scenario or a scene, but it is devoid of Krishna, then it is not the real speaking. It may appear, wow, very, very good, but it gets lost in time. Karocha tat karma karo manaschaha, and the hands which are actually working for sake of Krishna are the actual work. And which is called mind. So everybody is worried about the mind. My mind is so disturbed, my mind is so much anxious. People say that. Then Parikshit Maharaj said that, which is actually kind mind. The mind is the mind which constantly meditates on the Supreme Lord, who is situated in everybody's heart. Thavara Jangam. If somebody's mind is always constantly thinking about the personality who is there in all living entities, and that is called mind. For example, we saw a crow, we saw a donkey, we saw a beautiful woman, we saw a tree. Wherever we are seeing that, oh, Krishna is there in this. Oh, Krishna is in form of Paramatma. So, if your mind is thinking like that, then that is called mind. And he said that Srunoti tat punya kadha sakarna, and which are called the real ears. The ears which actually hear the Bhagavat Srunoti tat punya katha. The punya katha means all pious stories of Krishna. The ears can be utilized for any other purpose also, but these ears can be used for Krishna's hearing katha also. And only they are called. For example, you are all hearing Krishna katha. Somebody may hear tomorrow from the same, or somebody may hear after 10 years, somebody may hear after 100 years. So, at any point of time, when they are hearing this Krishna katha, they are actually, oh, these are the purpose of the ears has got fulfilled. This Parikshit Maharaj saying, you see just how much realization he got. So, this type of realization, one speaks, then speaker becomes very, very happy. And he went further ahead. Shirastu tasyo bhaya lingamanamet tadeva tatpashyati tadhi chaksho angani vishno ratatajjananam padodakam yanti yani bhajanti nityam. And Supreme Lord is there, and Bhagavatam gives one more very specific knowledge that how to look Krishna in everybody's heart as Paramatma. Shirastu tasyo bhayalinga maname, seeing the Supreme Lord Krishna in every body, and then bowing down, then that is called only head. And the eyes which see the Supreme Lord Krishna in the beautiful deity form are only the eyes. And what are the bodies? There are in our body we have so many senses, so many limbs. Only the limbs can be called real limbs if they are sanctified by the water which has washed the lotus feet of Krishna or his devotees. So this is the highest realization Parikshit Maharaj when he expressed it. Shukadeva Goswami being realized, he became so happy. And for a fraction of a second, he went to trance. He just closed his eyes and kept silent. Somebody, I spoke something, suddenly he became silent. So that is not silence, it is actually the trance. When Parikshit Maharaj expressed the whole essence he has just spoken, then Shukadeva Goswami became very happy and just closed his eyes in trance and felt so happy that things are in the right perspective. And he said that, okay, now I'll tell you another beautiful, wonderful pastime of Krishna which shows how he is merciful and how he is unlimited. Starts then. So this story actually happened in Dwarakapuri, and as I mentioned in the beginning of the story, this happened on Akshaya Tritiya day. People happily say, and but we should know how this can happen to you and me. How this can, people think that okay, this has happened to Sudama, and then he feel happy that okay, can happen to me also. But one should be really qualified. Then it can happen to anybody, because Krishna is a friend of all, and he will give anybody to anyone. So this is a story which actually happened in Dwarakapuri. We understood Dwarakapuri is so opulent. Dwaraka is so opulent. And Dwarakapuri was inaccessible to ordinary persons. And that's why Krishna took all his entourage sometimes to Indraprastha, so that the whole world will see what is the opulence of Krishna. Otherwise it is inaccessible to a common man. So he is telling about the story of Sudama Vipra. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva Bhagavatam, his name, Krishna's friend name is described as Sudama. Whereas in Telugu or South India, he is described as Kuchela. Kuchela word also comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. Kuchela is mentioned that his whatever the cloth he was wearing, the person, Brahmana, was torn and is very dirty because it was not even washed. So because of it not properly washed, it was dirty and is also torn also, fatahua. Kuchela. Chela means the cloth. Ku means not so good. So his name has become Kuchela in the South Indian states. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned as Sudama Vipra. So the Sudama, the Shukadeva Goswami was nicely explaining about it. The Sudama Vipra is a very, very peaceful person. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ataeva Shanta. Who can be peaceful? The person who is not having any material desires. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama. Nishkama means no kama, no desire. Then he will be peaceful. The moment we get a desire, then the Rajoguna comes into picture, then action comes into picture, and the moment you get into action, either you will get positive or negative results. When you get positive, you become more passionate, again you work more, story goes on. Whereas here, Krishna Bhakta is Nishkama, Atayeva Shanta. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have any desire. He will be having many desires for Krishna, and he feels that yes, it is Krishna's activity, Krishna will support, and he would ensure that the tasks are achieved. So in that way also, even be having a very tall task, still he will be very peaceful. So this Sudama Vipra was always very peaceful, and is most important, he is Indriya Bhoga Virakta. He is detached from the sense enjoyment. So he was very thin and he was free from the enjoyment and very devoted to Krishna. His name is Sudama, and by whatever providence the money comes, the whatever food comes, he used to manage in that. And the important thing is that his wife, he has a very big family. He was very many children are there, and the wife is also very. She is also never complained. Oh, you are not earning not much money. You are not giving food and clothing to us. Like that, she never complained. She is also a very pious lady, like a Brahmani. She's a Brahmani, and her worry is more not about her. She never worried about why she is not eating. Her worry is that she could not feed properly to her husband. She could not feed properly to children. That is her worry. And even whatever food she could get, she used to keep herself fasting and used to feed husband and children in that way. But situation, the Sudama was always devoted and always thinking about Krishna and following his strictly all his religious principles. So one day, wife of Sudama, she told one interesting point. She said that I know that your friend is Lord Krishna and he stays in Dwarka. She knows for many times, from beginning she knows, but she never attempted. And one day when the right time came, then she started speaking. My dear Lord Swami, that your friend is Lakshmipati, is a husband of goddess of fortune, and that Yadava Sreshta is very much attached to Brahmanas, and he has a lot of respect for them, and he has a great honor, and he is very much interested in giving the shelter to all Brahmanas, which this I heard. So I suggest that you please go to him. And I am sure that he will give you opulence in abundance. So she was so much confident. So this is what we should be knowing, that she is so confident that her husband's friend is a great personality, Lord Krishna, and he is the husband of Lakshmi, and he has great attachment to respect for the Brahmanas, and if her husband goes and requests, he would give opulence, unlimited opulence. She was giving so much confidence to him. And she also added one more point, that I came to that nowadays he is in Dwaraka only, so better you go without delay. Because Krishna was always busy, sometimes going to Indraprastha, 4 months there. He was just moving so many activities. So if the husband goes all the way and if he's not there, so he feels bad. So she said that I came to that nowadays he is staying in Dwaraka only, why didn't you go? And without further delay, please go. So she was giving guidance. It's called Karaneshu Mantri. So the wife should be like a good minister, should advisory board. So Karaneshu Mantri. So a person who is having a wife like a perfect minister in giving good advice is very fortunate. So Karya Sudashi Karaneshu Mantri. In Karya, in doing work, she will be working like a servant, and in giving advice, she will be working like a very intelligent minister. So she has the Sudama Vipra's wife was a perfect example for that. And she said, please go immediately. When wife was repeatedly asking, Sudama thought, oh, what should I do? What should I do? He was just thinking like that. And he finally came to a conclusion, one point. Okay, even if the money, the opulence obtained or not obtained, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But at least I will see Krishna. At least because I have not seen him for several years. I know that he is there, but somehow I did not get that mood to go. And now the providence is telling in the form of my Vidhi is telling through my wife, go and see. He felt that Ayahmi Paramo Labha Uttama Shloka Darshana. Even if I don't get, I get the highest benefit of seeing the Uttama. Then he decided, okay, let me go. In a fraction of a second, he decided that even going there itself and seeing Krishna itself is the greatest boon. Then what to talk about here and there. Then he said, okay, it is good, I have accepted your idea, suggestion, but I can't go to my friend. First time I am going after several years. So I should take some gift to him. Then I can't go with empty hands. Then wife, she went to some 2-3 houses and collected one morsel of chipped rice, and she has tied everything into a cloth, a cloth which is there on his shoulder, and that cloth is also very dirty, and to that corner she has bound everything, and Sudama Vipra started to Dwaraka. He started Dwaraka, but he met when they were friends with Sandipa Muni. They were very small children, 12 years or like that. Now they become very grown up, and he is having big family, so many children. He also knows that so many husbands, wives, children, grandchildren. Krishna has grown up so much. And while traveling, he started thinking, oh, I am going anyway, but can I get darshan or not? Will I get entry or not? Because my dress is so bad, so ugly, and I doesn't appear to be a gentleman. Can I get any permission to go inside? Like that he started thinking, and to his surprise, how he traveled, he even could not imagine. And he was just there in front of Dwaraka. Just went there. And he saw suddenly that a big group of Brahmanas are entering into it. So he just also mixed up in the event. So how everything is, because his intention is there, his wife's intention is that he should go, and he will go and ask, and he will get everything. So she's sending very positive energy from there, and he is also, some thoughts are there, but he has at least I'll have darshan. That itself is very great. And he has some background thoughts also, that Krishna is a worshipper of Brahmanas. So somehow he reached there, and he saw many Brahmanas are entering into that big fort, and he just joined, and he got a royal. And first he went, there are three that they are screened, because people just cannot go just like that. So there are big 3 screens where all the army, they were, but Brahmanas were given highest respect. They crossed 3 screening points, then they crossed some 3 big gates, and he went. And he again, from them he got separated because his intention is different. They all went for there because they know Dwaraka very well, where to go. They are very clear. But here Sudama Vipra is first time entering, and he doesn't know where to go, what to go, and he knows that 16,108 palaces are there, and where Krishna will be there, he has no idea, and which palace belongs to whom, he has no idea. He just went, and meanwhile the entire group went here and there, and he left alone. Then he came to, oh, this is the place, all the Yadu people, they all stay, and this is the quarters of Krishna. He came to. Then when he decided, okay, let us go into this house. So just a big palace there, he just entered, and that happened to be Rukmini's house. So he has to go to the Lakshmipati, he has to go to the goddess of fortune. So he entered into the house. So that is what Krishna directs. Krishna directs where to go, how to go, and he will put. Only your thought should be clear. So just imagine 16,108 are there, but because here inside the super soul Paramatma Krishna is there. So Srila Prabhupada very nicely, it's called super consciousness. Actually, we are conscious. When we say that we are conscious, that we are conscious means we are talking about the soul. But when we are talking about super consciousness, we are talking about the super soul. So the super consciousness giving the super soul, he acts as a witness and also acts as a friend. So in the form of witness, he creates all the facilities so as to so that the individual soul fulfill all his desire. So he has a desire. Of course, he doesn't have desire. His wife is having desire, but he has a desire to see. So when he entered, just he decided entered, that happened to be Rukmini's house. So when he went, he just entered, and just imagine how much big a palace must be. And nobody stopped him because he's a Brahmana. So and you can also imagine that first time he's going, say, a house which you are aware, you don't look here and there, you'll just go straight. But first time you are entering, you have no idea where to go, so you will be surprised by looking what you do. So he's just watching here and there, he's moving inside, nobody stopping. And at a long distance, before he could see, Krishna saw him from deep inside Antapura. He was just sitting on the nice, wonderful Hamsatulika Talpa, that is a sleeping, nice cottage. On that he was sitting. That was the place for Rukmini and Krishna. So he was sitting on that, and Rukmini is actually Chamara. She is giving the fan to Krishna. And from long distance, Krishna saw, and he just jumped from the bed and did not even speak to anybody. He just Sudama, 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 just running. Everybody got stunned. What happened suddenly? To whom he is addressing? He just rushing, he ran, and finally went, and he embraced him, Sudama. And he caught hold of his hand and started bringing him inside, and expressing so much happiness that he's laughing and expressing gestures, happiness, everything. You can't imagine. Everybody was stunned, and even Kuchela also, that is Sudama also stunned, because he has seen long back. Now he is a very big person with the wives and the grandsons, like that, very big. So whereas Krishna directly brought him and made him to sit on the Hamsatulika Talpa of Rukmini, on which he was sitting. So he made him to sit. And he arranged, please get all the paraphernalia to worship this Brahmana. So all people just brought it, and they put a nice pedestal there, and he asked him to keep his legs on that. He washed that. So now he is taking a role of worshipping Brahmanas. Namo Brahmanya Devaya. So he started worshipping, he has washed his feet, and then he sprinkled on his head, and then he sprinkled on the wife. Then immediately after washing that, he has worshipped with flowers. Then after that, he arranged for a big arti. And first he has given dhupa, then he has given deepa. Like that, he is one by one has put garlands onto his head. And just imagine, and when he was doing like this, Rukmini was stunned, and she has no option, has no second thought, and she immediately, whatever she was doing, the chamara service to Krishna, she started doing for Sudama, because her husband itself is doing. So she felt that she must be a very very great personality. So she started, and everybody really, because Rukmini was having in that big palace so many servants, everybody got stunned. Anta, they said that Kimanena Krutam Punya Avadhutena Bhikshuna Shriyanena Lokespin Garhite Nathamena Cha. Hey, this person appears to be like a very wretched person, and he appears to be a pauper, and he has no proper dress also, and people definitely cannot accept him. But how come he is such a getting such a great reception? And he is sitting on the Parijankam Stam Shriyam Hitva, and he is sitting, he made him to sit on the Parijanka, the Hamsatulika Talpa of Rukmini, and he is worshipping. And also Yosot Triloka Guruna Srinivasena Sambrita, and he is embracing him. So this person must be very rarest personality, and he is behaving. And also, as generally we see that Krishna doesn't embrace anybody except Balaram, but we are seeing first time that he is embracing like he embraces his brother. So they felt that this personality must be something great. And after, when he worshipped, everything is over, then now the friendship is coming into picture. So after he finished off everything, Aarti is over, garlanding is over, and everything, then Krishna said, okay, now I'll take on to the friendship. Then he sat next to him. Because first he has worshipped him as a great Brahmana. Now he is going to engage him as a friend. Then he sat next to him, put his hand on him and started talking. He took his hands into his hands and started talking. So Lord Krishna has maintained both. So when he has seen Brahmana, this Brahmana may be my friend, but he is Brahmana, so I should worship him as a Brahmana. Oh, he is only my friend, so there is no, I can avoid Brahmanical services. No, he did not do that. First, he, as a responsible Gruhastha, he worshipped him. Then comes the story of friendly relations. So from this we can really see Krishna how meticulously followed all the Vedic etiquette. He followed, and now as a friends they started talking, and Krishna was laughing like people were stunned. How much today our Dwarkadhish is laughing with, we never saw so much. Everybody was, they're not even considered, they forgotten the whole atmosphere around them. As if there are only two people, Krishna and Sudama. They were talking like this. And they gotten deep into the old memories. And Krishna started saying, oh my dear friend, do you remember? Okay, we were there at spiritual master's place, and after giving Guru Dakshina, you went back. Now I am seeing that you don't appear to be very much interested in opulences, not interested in some sense gratification. I am able to see. and also see that you don't have much money also, because you appear to be concentrating more on the spiritual progress than the material things. Like that he started saying. And he also asked, I hope you have married a nice Brahmani, you have a good family, these things should be there. I would like to know all those things he mentioned. And he also gave a very deep sense of philosophy at one point, because he was remembering, he was recollecting the days at the spiritual master. And he said that Krishna said very interesting, important message to him, through which he has given to everybody. The person who gives birth, that is father, is the first spiritual master to any human being. This Guru is who? The person who has given the birth is the first Guru. Next is the person who gives the Upanayana Samskara, and then makes him to follow the religious life, is called Sakshat Guru. This is higher than the normal Guru. Father, just because he has given birth, he has become Guru, but the person who has given the Dvijatva and made him to follow the dharmic, the religious life, that person is called Sakshat Guru. Means Guru personified in front of you. And then, but however, the person who gives the ultimate knowledge to all Varna, all ashramas, he is actually called Paramaguru. So he is not confined to one personality or some sect. He is to all Varnas and all ashramas with highest knowledge. He is called Paramaguru. And understand that that Paramaguru is non-different from me. Non-different from me. And he says that he has given, he will not be really satisfied by any austerity or any tapasya or any worship, to the extent he gets satisfied by worshipping of spiritual master. So if somebody is worshipping spiritual master and gets complete, if they ensure complete satisfaction of spiritual master, the first person who is going to be satisfied is Krishna. We understand this fundamental point. If you really want to satisfy Krishna, first you should satisfy the spiritual master, and that is Krishna's word. And Krishna. Oh, do you remember, my dear friend Sudama, that one time we both went, because our spiritual master Sandipan Mani suggested to bring some wood for the sacrifice. We went both together, and it was evening time. Suddenly there was a big rain and thunders, and we had within no time the whole forest became flooded, and we could not get any path, how to go, where to go. Then we got onto the tree, and the whole night it was showering, and we were shivering. We were stayed together, and we were close to each other and holding each one's hand, embracing each other, because we are so much because of chill. And when the morning came, the rain subsided and sun came, and we saw our Sandipan Muni came searching for us with some other few more disciples. When he saw both of us in that form, in that situation, he felt very, very bad, and he became so much distressed. And he also got so much pleased with us and blessed us that, okay, my dear sons, because of me you have really suffered so much. Whole night you are suffering to bring this wood for my yajna. So he has given, I am blessing you with all my heart and soul, and I will, because of my mercy, because of my Ashirvad, all the whatever Vedic mantras you have learned, they will become fresh. They will be always evergreen, ever fresh heart in this life, ihapara. In that way. So in this way, there were nice discussions going on, and suddenly, oh, you have come for the first time. Come, probably you would have bought something from me, surely. And he said that whatever my devotees give me, it may be little small or big, I just take it. And he said, Patram pushpam phalam tojam jome bhaktya prayasi tadham name prayatatmana. And this same sloka we say in Bhagavad Gita also, but Krishna first uttered this in front of Sudama. He told this same method, and the same thing he told to Arjuna at the time of that. And when Krishna was asking, Sudama felt little awkward. He said, because he has already seen such a great opulence, great wonderful thing. Just he brought some cheap rice, but when he came all the way here, he felt that it will be too much insult to even take it out. He was just thinking, hesitating. Then Krishna felt in his heart that my friend never asked for opulence. My friend never asked for opulence, and he never worshipped me. He never remembered me or because of the opulence. No, he never did that. And he just came just to satisfy his wife. Now I will ensure that he will be given unlimited opulences which are even impossible for the demigods. In this way Krishna felt, and he immediately said, oh, what is this? Something you have brought. He just snatched a small packet, means it was tied onto the cloth, and he opened it and saw. Wonderful. The cheap dress. Oh, it's very nice. I like it very much. I like it very much. And with this, not only me, whole universe will be satisfied. He first declared himself and put it one. Happy, very happy. From very happy, and was eating and was able to take next second one, but Rukmini stopped immediately. So the Acharya has given various examples, various explanations for this wonderful action by Rukmini. So one Acharya commented that so by one morsel of itself, Krishna has given the unlimited opulences to Sudama. If he takes second one, there would be no option than Rukmini has to go permanently to serve him at his place. So she said that she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to leave Krishna. That's why she said, okay, please stop it. That is one of the Acharya's explanation. And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur said in a different mood. She stopped because, okay, your brother, your friend has brought so much after so many years. He has come, he has given taste. You are enjoying. If you finish, only small is left. Small only he has brought, and if you eat whole thing, how we can get opportunity to taste it? So you don't want to share with us? That was her, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. And also he felt that, oh, this chip rice is still raw. It is not even wet. It is not cooked. So if Krishna eats this one, oh, he may not properly able to digest. So that was also thinking that Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur ji is mentioned. And Srila Prabhupada was mentioning in the Krishna book at the story that if somebody offers Krishna very happily, very sumptuous bhoga, at that time Rukmini, the Krishna, Lakshmi will be completely satisfied. Because after eating the bhoga, he is going to give the remnants to Lakshmi also. Lakshmi will be very happy, and Lakshmi will be having permanent stay at the house of the devotee who offer sumptuous bhoga to Krishna. This is the statement given by Srila Prabhupada in Krishna book. So now the gift taking part is also over. Okay, now the time is for big feast. Krishna arranged for a big feast for his friend, and unlimited. And Krishna started serving him. Rukmini also started serving. Everybody serving, and he really enjoyed a big feast. And of course, he is not interested in the sense gratification. He has seen only the love of friendship, Sakhyarasa. Sakhyarasa, how lovingly Krishna is serving, how lovingly he is talking, speaking, everything. And all his Rukmini and her servants, everybody. And he took the Panchabhaksha Paramanna, all 5 types of foodstuffs he ate. And after that, okay, I am completely satisfied, and already become night. So he said, okay, Krishna said, okay, now you take rest on the same bed, no problem. So where Krishna is to sleep, Krishna and Rukmini, so he said, please sleep on the same bed. Just imagine how much magnanimous. He just slept on that bed whole night. He was just only reeling under beautiful thoughts. And Hamsatulika Talpa, and he was feeling, he's in the spiritual world. He's already in the spiritual world. So nice discussions, so nice happiness, and so worship, and so big feast, and so much discussion, and bliss, and completely body. And the morning he got up. He said, okay, now I'll go back to my place. Oh, Krishna said, okay, no problem. And neither the Sudama asked, okay, I came all the way, that my wife was asking like that. He did not say, nor Krishna say anything. So they finally got, they have given good send off. Rukmini and Krishna came all the way up to the end of their palace, and they have given good send off, and Sudama Vipra started back. When he started walking, he did not remember that, okay, why I have not asked him, and I have missed it. He did not say. He was just thinking, what actually, how much, aho bhagyam, how much fortunate he is, how much blissful he was, and how much happily he has spent. He was just constantly thinking. And he started saying that, where I am and where he is. He said that, Vaham taridra papeyan, Kwa Krishna Sreniketana, Brahma Bandhur etis maham, Bahubhyam parirampita. He said that, where I am, Daridra, I am a wretched person, I am a pauper. Where I am, Kwa Krishna Sreniketana, where Krishna, who is actually having Lakshmi in his chest, and Brahma Bandhu, not even I'm a Brahmana, I'm only Brahmana Bandhu, but still he has embraced. He still embraced. Aho Brahmanya Devasya, Društva Brahmanyata Maya, Yad Daridratamo Lakshmi, Astisto Bidatorasi. He started thinking. And even though I am a poorest of poor, also Krishna embraced. This particular sloka, which is uttered by Sudama, was even uttered by a great Brahmana when he was embraced by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in the in the Srikurma, when a devotee, when he came and he was delivered from his very sinful body, because he was having the kushtu, the leprosy. So he was delivered because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him. He got delivered, and then the person said that, Kvaham taridra papi yan, Kwa Krishna Sreniketana, Brahma Bandhur etis maham, Bahubhyam parirambhita. Oh, where is Lord Krishna and where this very poor personality? So the devotees who are having the Bhagavatam in the heart, no thought what is going to happen. Just he was only in this complete positive thing. And finally, and he was remembered, oh my God, how is that? Even the personified Lakshmi herself, he was doing the chamara, and he has washed my feet and sprinkled on his head. And probably he felt that if some opulence is given to me, I may forget him. So that's why probably he has not given. He has done a very good job. He has done a very, very good thing that he has not given anything to me. In that way, Sudama felt. He's walking. As he, when he was thinking whether Krishna will be seen or not, like he was thinking, suddenly he was there in Dwaraka. Similarly, while thinking, he just came to his place. But when he came to his place was same, but there is no house. His house is replaced by a big palace. So he was little confused whether he got diverted by mistake. But no chance of because all the opposite houses, etc., they remain same. Only this house is opulent. He was just confused. This cannot be a wrong place. He still is when conscious, is not in the dream. When he was thinking what to do, suddenly he saw hundreds of men and women. They are coming from inside. They are coming with Shayanai. They are coming with Purna Kumbha. They are coming with lamps. They are coming with conch shells. Everything. He was just he did not recognize who are these. Suddenly he saw one beautiful woman inside. She is surrounded by everybody, and she is coming. Suddenly remember, he could recognize she is his wife. She is his wife. He was just remember. Then he answered, it seems this is my house only. But there is some change has happened, and my wife also become very, very attractive, very opulent, and surrounded by so many rich people, and they are coming to invite me. In that way, and he saw, and she appeared like the most beautiful woman in the three worlds. And she appeared very, very young also. But when she came all the way, she came and paid obeisances to him. And mind that he is in the same form as he went from. Even Krishna did not give him new clothes. Generally, when the Brahmana comes, he will be given new clothes, silk clothes, etc. Krishna did not give anything. He worshipped him, and he has given arti, he has fed him, he has put chandan, he has put garland, but he did not give clothes. The same clothes, he did not even wash also. As he went and he came back in same condition. So he's standing there. The wife is completely in silk sarees, beautiful ornament, everything. She bowed down. Then Sudama understood, this is mercy of Krishna. This is mercy of Krishna. He immediately understood. And he said that, yes, this is the unlimited mercy of Krishna. The moment he understood his unlimited mercy of Krishna, suddenly his form got changed. He has become very, very beautiful young Brahmana with highly opulent. As his wife is very, very rich, opulent, and he also has become. Because as he could not recognize, she also may not recognize if he also comes in the same way. And he also will not understand when he comes, just like in the beginning itself he gets changed. He may not be knowing what is happening. So Krishna wanted to tell him that it is I have given you. It's that I have given you. And when he realized that yes, Krishna has given, then he got transformed. They became so opulent, and they all took him inside. And he said that yes, it all happened because of the unlimited opulence and mercy of Krishna. And he said one interesting thing, and he said that everything happened because of Krishna's mercy. And even though I had not asked him anything, he has acted like a blissful cloud, a darkest cloud. White cloud doesn't contain any water, but darkest cloud will have full of water. Even without we asking, it will pour water. So he has acted like a darkest cloud and fulfilled, even though I did not ask him anything. And Krishna is so magnanimous, so great, that whatever he has given the very great opulence, reward, he considered, I have given only very small to my devotee. He feels that. Whereas whatever devotee gives very small, he feels, it's very good, very big he has given. So Krishna is so magnanimous. I can't even think of any such person is there in this world. And he said that I don't want anything. I want तैसैव मे सौहृद सख्य मैत्री दास्यं पुनर्जन्मनि जन्मनि स्यात् महानुभावेन कुणालयेन विसज्य सत्पुरुष प्रसंगः. So this now I worship Krishna with all humility, with all attachment, with all friendship, with all cooperation. I will serve Krishna. And let my devotion to Krishna, let my attachment to Krishna get strengthened further and further and further by the devotees' association. So in this way, he expressed his strongest desire, and even though he got unlimited opulence, he never got any proud, he never got deviated, he never became sense gratifier, and he knew very well, he and his wife, they knew very well that all these material opulences one day to be given up. So they were very conscious of that. So they were very know that yes, one day they had to give away all this, give it up. So in that way, without any lobha, he has enjoyed everything, and he was constantly thinking Krishna's pastimes only, and at the appropriate time, at the right time, he left the material body and attained to the spiritual world to become associate of Krishna in spiritual world. So Shukadeva Goswami says that whoever hears this beautiful story narration of Krishna's attachment to the Brahmanas and Krishna's worship of Brahmanas, and also whoever hears the story of how he really blessed Sudama, they all will get love of Krishna, and they get really freed from karma bandha. Shukadeva Goswami happily narrated this beautiful story which has happened on the Akshaya Tritiya. So Akshaya Tritiya means Akshaya means there is no depletion. Whatever opulence Krishna has given to Sudama is undepleting, undiminishing. This is called Akshaya. And this glories are so Akshaya that any number of yugas, everybody will remember that how Krishna is opulent and how he made his dear friend very opulent, which is even not possible for even demigods to obtain. And by simply taking one morsel, only one morsel of chip, one morsel. So that's why, and he lived to his words, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. He said and lived up to that stand. So we can hear from this, and Krishna was sticking to his word, and whatever Sudama's word also should go into our heart. That is, he said that Krishna's magnanimous feature is such that even if he gives unlimited to his devotee, he feels that he has only given very small. And he feels that if devotee gives very small, he feels that he was given very, very big. So this should go into our heart, that will increase our attachment towards Krishna. So with this we'll be coming to the end of the first story, the friendship of Krishna and Sudama.